So we're having a look at growing in raised beds. It's a very popular way of growing vegetables these days. One of the main advantages, of course, is it confines your area to a nice neat space.
Yeah.
It's quite good for people that are short of time because it's quite easy just to look after a little area and then move on to another little area, whereas you haven't got such a... It's not so overwhelming, is it, when you've got raised beds? This is kind of a standard sort of size and height of the edges of raised bed. And here we've got one that's been placed on straight onto some grass, which is quite common if you're just going to create a new vegetable garden.
Yeah.
But what you have to do, of course, is either kill the grass off first, or you have to dig the grass up.
Yeah. So one method really is you can dig the grass up and take it all out if you want. I mean, one method is to just take a lump out and then just turn it upside down, and with soil on top, it should kill off the grass.
Should die
so
down.
We've done one there already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
but best.
I mean,
soil,
ideally, yeah. I mean, certainly if it's a very shallow bed, it's probably best just to try and remove it, isn't it? Really. But if it's a deeper bed, you might get away with just turning the turfs over. And then you've got to fill it with good quality soil, which either you can, if you've got some spare, you can do it. Otherwise, it's often best to buy it in bags.
Yeah.
Ideally, not fill it with compost because it's very expensive. It'll cost a fortune because it's surprising how much a bed this size will take.
Yeah. This one over here, obviously deeper. It's actually got soil, and then I've covered the top with compost.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
But that took 3 bags.
Yeah.
And it's really just.
It's not a
maybe
massive
2
bed.
inches on top.
Yeah.
So it would cost you a lot.
Yeah, and topsoil is cheaper to buy in bulk bags.
Yeah. But if you've got a part of the garden that's got some soil, you can.
Yeah, even cheaper.
The other thing is, if you see lots of molehills around.
Well,
great.
yeah.
It's
good quality
I've filled,
soil.
One of these with molehill soil before. It's great stuff.
But you don't have to have high sides to a raised bed. You can just get away with a very, very shallow bed. If you can see onto my right here, we've got a bed that has very, very low sides. That's all you need. It's all about just confining an area. It's a lot cheaper to create a bed with very, very low sides. You don't need as much to fill it. In fact, you could just dig the bottom over. You don't even need to add anything. The disadvantage with those is if you're not very agile, they're very easy to trip over them. So if you're having mobility problems, you're better off with much higher beds, and also they're much easier to access.
And with that one, we've just taken off the top layer of grass, and the soil underneath is lovely. It's a bit
just
hard
dig over
work,
it.
but
yeah.
Because sometimes you take on a plot and it's very rough, and there could be loads of weeds and grass. I mean, you can cover it in polythene for the winter, kill off the weeds, and then it's much easier to dig over come spring or early summer.
Yeah. So that's how you start off some raised beds.